All right, so do we just get into it? Do we just delve into it?
Let me say
Just
like
jump
2
in
seconds of like bullshit intro, and then we can just jump right into it.
Oh, yeah, we need to be like, oh, hi, I'm Jackdaw, and you're like, hi. I cannot say your name for the life of me. Gilderthalin.
So it's. Do you know where it's from, real quick? Quick history lesson for Dragon Age.
It's probably from some elven history.
So in the Virderthara, the Shattered Library, you meet this orange little spirit, and if you interact with her enough, she tells you her name, which is Gilderthalin. It's the spirit that is like the one that connected all the information for people, and I just thought that was so cute
That is really cute. So like you're a content creator on lore, and then you have the spirit who. That is so clever.
Look at me go. The one clever thing with my channel.
I'm literally just Jackdaw because I have a crush on a random singer. Like, there's no correlation.
That's okay.
And I do drink. Yeah. Okay, when you say it, Gilderthalin, that sounds really cool. That's Gilderthalin. When you say it properly, that is cool.
I'm glad you think it's cool now, but I'm afraid what you thought.
I know how to say it. I was like, Gilderthalin.
What a stupid name. God, Jesus. All right, let me say some bullshit intro. Welcome, patrons, back to another Hahren'al, where I get together with other Bioware content creators you know and love and talk shop. You can tell I've written this already. Today's special guest is another YouTuber who I would say specializes in new lore speculations and Miranda Lawson, Jackdaw Journalism.
Well, hey, hi guys, Jackdaw here.
All right.
How are we all doing? Let's do this.
Well, they can't answer because they haven't listened yet. But
That's true.
So I let you pick the topic and tell the guests, not the guests, but the listeners, what you decided to talk about today.
Well, if you don't know me, my content, I love talking about romance and Bioware games, and I haven't talked about romance in so long, especially since I've recently gained a larger viewership. I figured, you know what? Why not chat about romance and characters, about not just Dragon Age, but Bioware as a whole? So I figured, let's do it. Let's talk about romance, characters, and what we want potentially in the future for romance as well.
So welcome to our top 5 personal romances. No, I'm kidding. But
basically.
So I thought we'd start out pretty easy. What is your... I'm more Dragon Age. I think you're more Mass Effect, so we're going to do both.
Mass Effect 2 is my favourite game, so I am more Mass Effect, but I'm getting more into Dragon Age. But Mass Effect is my baby, literally.
Since Dragon Age is my baby, we thought we'd have the babies together, so now we're going to talk about both. So what is your favorite romances in all of the Dragon Age and Mass Effect games?
Okay, I'm going to go Dragon Age. No, I'm going to go Mass Effect first. Okay. So, confession time. As I said before, if you've seen my content, you probably know that I love Miranda Lawson. I mean, I have fan art of her for a reason. But yes, I am indeed a Miranda Lawson main romancer. I don't know what it is. Well, I kind of do.
It's the
Other than her aesthetics. Other than those aesthetics. I don't actually know what engrosses me into her other than the aesthetics. But I guess it's probably seeing her vulnerable side. You know, like... She's told to be this perfect character. She's this beautiful specimen of a character. But she's deeply flawed at the same time. And she knows it. And then in her loyalty mission, we see her crying. And to me, it breaks that illusion that she is perfect. And we really embrace her on a human level. And I think it's the fact that they are flawed, that they have emotions, hopes, dreams, fears. It's something that Bioware do incredibly well. This being creating, really human, emotional characters that we can just... relate to or invest in. And even if the majority of the cast are alien, they feel human, if you get what I mean. They have emotions, they have hopes, they have dreams, and it's just great writing, and it just made me really love Miranda Lawson as a character. Even with her aesthetics aside, I do enjoy her personality. Even though she can be a bitch at times, and in the introduction to the game, she is one of the largest, bitchiest characters ever. But when we kind of get to know her, we remove that. I just really enjoy what is there, that she, has emotions, that she cares about her sister deeply, She does care about things, She isn't just this, one-note, stereotypical cheerleading character. She is this emotionally human character, and it just breaks me. Just love Miranda Lawson. She's probably my favourite video game character ever, aside from her aesthetics. But I mean, Yvonne Strahovski, beautiful actress, beautiful woman. If you've ever seen Chuck, I recommend just watching Chuck just for Yvonne. Zachary Levi as well, but I mean, Yeah, I love her actress just as much as I love Miranda Lawson.
Really random, but I was thinking the other day that Miranda is... So, in my mind, Bioware has only taken, like, the exact faces of actresses twice.
Yeah.
Miranda and Talus. And Talus, like, no offense to Felicia Day, is awful. I hate Talus.
Oh,
I hate Talus.
No.
I hate Talus.
Oh, no. I love Talus.
I hate Talus.
When we get back in later down the line, I wanted to romance Talus properly, like a full-on proper, not just a kiss, like a proper romance.
I just couldn't get the whole Mark of the Assassin. I've said this too many times, and we shouldn't be getting into it now. But Mark of the Assassin made me want to like smash my face. And anyway, but after that beautiful exposition on why you love Miranda Lawson, I romanced Garrus because I thought his voice sounded nice.
Garrus.
The end.
Oh. What's his voice actor called? Brandon.
Oh shit! I don't know.
Brandon, he's in like Fallout 4 as well, and I'm like, Garrus? Is that you?
Yeah, I don't know what his name. I don't know. See, as much as I know about Dragon Age, it's like the opposite of Mass Effect. I've played through all the games once, and so like I know kind of, but any of the detail stuff, it's fuck.
It's
I don't know.
yeah, it's kind of hard to grasp.
Yeah, but when I played my first thing of Mass Effect, I was number one. I think all of the Mass Effect 1 romances suck.
Pretty much.
So
pretty much.
But what we made like a list comparing, like contrasting what we're going to say in the future, and both of us put no one for our favorite romances for Mass Effect 1.
I did change it literally 2 seconds ago, but yeah, literally no one. I normally don't romance anyone in Mass Effect 1.
I don't need it because maybe you're like me. You save yourself for who you actually want to romance in the next.
Exactly.
What I try to do
myself.
is that we'll learn this later. I kind of hate Caden because I thought he was really boring. I know people love him. So what I did is I went on romancing Caden and then killed his ass with Vermeer or whatever it was. It was like, goodbye, I love you. This is so tragic.
I mean, what does he have to offer other than Canadian ham?
I don't even know about the Canadian ham part.
Yeah,
but...
in Citadel DLC, he gives you Canadian ham.
Oh,
if you romance Ashley in Citadel, you get really great Star Wars puns. If you romance Caden, you get Canadian ham.
Well, I thought it was interesting how Ashley was like really into like old literature and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm into this conversation.
My captain in Tennessee and Walt Whitman, and I'm like, okay, I like that, I dig that. And then she pulled this religious, like, I believe in God character as well, which I thought was interesting, but it didn't really suit her personality because she is a blatant racist. But
I don't know, man. I guess it might be kind of in character. I'm from the South. I know people. No offense to religious people.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Some of you are great and wonderful people. Some of you guys.
Oh.
Anyway,
let's not go there.
This is got real. What about Andromeda?
Oh, Andromeda. Okay, I really, really, really wanted to romance Suvi, and then I found out that she was interested in females. So I was like, damn, because I love Suvi. I really, really enjoy Suvi's character. So I had, but because I found out obviously she's gay, I had to go with Cora Harper, and I like Cora. But she only talks about how she was with the Asari, and she's an Asari commando, and I'm like, flipping heck, can you please talk about something different other than the fact that you are an Asari commando or you worked with Asari? Like, in previous Mass Effects, they talk about so many different things, you know. You have so many fun conversations. And in Andromeda, they all just talk about one thing, you know. Like, Jal is, oh, my people. And then Cora's like, I'm an Asari commando. And what's the captain? Kalo Jaff, who's my favourite character, just talks about the ship. And Liam just talks about Earth and how he was in this squad of police or what. You know, they all just talk about the same thing. And I'm like, can we just have a bit of varying conversation here, please? So I did go with Cora Harper eventually. But Andromeda is just kind of disappointing, really.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think that, like, for some reason, the hetero male romances, it was really just PB or Cora, right? And I think PB is the worst thing ever. So
PB is the worst thing ever. Seriously. I hate PB too. Oh my goodness. I literally just romanced her for the sake of saying, okay, I'm going to play the game again, and I don't want to romance Cora. I can't romance Suvi because she's, you know, gay. So I'm going to have to romance PB. And it was just didn't even complete that save. Did not even complete that save.
Is it just as bad as like PB is?
It's just as bad as PB. Yeah, I just can't do PB. I just don't like her character. I thought she was going to be fun and quirky, but she's really just annoying. You know, people say she's like Sarah from Dragon Age Inquisition.
No,
she is nothing like Sarah.
Nothing.
I enjoy Sarah. I like Sarah a lot, PB? No.
Now we have to go into this because I completely agree with you. I love Sarah. I think Sarah shows like some like Sarah is the way she is because like she is very young and she hasn't had a lot of good parenting, and so this is what happens to like people. So like
she's fun, she's flippant, she's she's
but you also
blunt.
see her growth in Trespasser, where especially I think it really highlights if you play an Elven Inquisitor, and like after you find out that all of the like your gods are a bunch of slavers, she like kind of makes fun of them and said, but then she like takes them like. Listen, I know you believe, though, and I am sorry for that. Like, that's a very real moment. And I'm like, okay, you grew. Like, beforehand, you would have made
matured.
fun of it.
Yeah, you actually matured.
Mm-hmm. But PB, I think, just stays in that mode and, like, you don't see the growth. Like,
that's the thing. They don't have character development.
Yeah.
In Andromeda, no character development. And Bioware games literally focus on development so much. In Inquisition, there is so much character development. Mm-hmm. The Inquisitor, there's the cast around him. In Andromeda, there is literally no character development.
Yeah, like they had the perfect moment. Like I think it's sometime after you do her personal quest, and if you get like enough positive stuff with PB, there's a better word there than stuff, but whatever. And what happens is that she wants to thank you, but she can't, so she sets up a recording then she like walks off.
Yeah.
No.
And then you have to go and you want that in person. You want it to do it in person, like develop.
Yeah, like that the saying thank you with a recording should have happened way earlier. Then later on, then she says it in person, and then you can see that growth of like, oh, she's getting more comfortable sharing her feelings. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have salvaged PB for me.
PB. Okay. Oh, what about you? So Andromeda, who did you romance?
Oh, going into it, I was like, I guess I'm in for the purple space kitty, so let's go with Joel. And like
I romanced Joel as well.
He's a really interesting romance, and I think like overall he is my favorite. But I will say the first playthrough, I went to Kadara Port and I met Reyes, and I was like, hey.
Reyes.
Hey there. When we were writing this, I couldn't even remember his fucking name. You're
like, thank you.
Who is this guy? Like, I like him a lot, and I think he would have been a really good romance, but like if they had done it fully and not just like this side thing, because like what was
half-assed thing.
But like what was half-assed was actually pretty interesting still. So what would have happened if they had a full romance? And I think that would have easily stolen the show. But
definitely.
without that Reyes romance, I think Joel would have been the most interesting one, because you do get like our people are connected or whatever. Can I just have a quick aside though? The design for the Angaran, what the fuck?
Literally,
I don't like the weird pink purples, not my cup of tea, but whatever. But like the weird, I don't even know if the females have it, but the men have like these like bony boob novels.
It's really weird. Like, I don't understand
chest testicles. I don't.
It's like weird, really weird to look at. And then seeing his butt was just. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
I'm heterosexual. I like male butts, and I was like, I don't know, like the weird chest testicle. I don't even know what to call
the
them.
weird chest thing that he's got going on.
I don't know. It really just looked not any. I don't know how to describe it. It looked like someone designed it just to be different, and it wasn't like something that the Angaran like used or it was useful.
Yeah. Like, did you see the Game Informer documentary before the game came out?
I did not.
Like, they had so many crazy designs for the Angara. Like, so many lit, really cool, different, crazy head designs and body designs. And then we get, what the Angara actually look like, which is just like a Twi'lek kind of copy of Star Wars. But the original designs, it was so varied, so cool. Literally, like, you couldn't imagine what they originally looked like. And then to what we actually get is really underwhelming. But
I wonder
that's just
why
Andromeda,
they did.
really.
Do you think it was just because it was easier to model and that's what they did?
Yeah, probably just easier to get out there, because obviously they had 18 months to fully develop the game because of the political whatever was happening in BioWare, and then they had to just get on with it. So I assume they just went, you know what, let's choose that design and crack on with it, literally. Yeah. Which is, just sad, but.
Well, let's finish off with Mass Effect and go into least romances, because your least favorite Mass Effect Andromeda was the Angaran woman.
Oh yeah, the Angaran woman. Like, what was the point in even having her as a romance option? Literally,
I don't know.
There was no point. But yeah, she's just a terrible romance. You literally just kiss her and that's it. Like, you get all of her ruins. You go to Kadara, you go to I forget, Vold, and then you go to the other one, and
Whatever the other
literally you get all these relics, and you have to go around, like, you know, the shards in Dragon Age Inquisition. You go around and you get these really annoying locations. You get them, and then you return them to her, and she gives you a kiss, and I'm like, was that an actual romance or what? Like, seriously? So it was just underwhelming. And other than PB's romance, like, yeah, Avela's just bad.
So somewhere Scout Harding romancers are saying, at least you got a kiss.
That's true. That is true. Heart goes out. My heart goes out to those people.
See, I agree with you that that's probably the worst romance, but I still voted PB because I just, honest to God, hate PB so much.
Her crop top jacket. What design is that?
All right, I'm going to defend the crop top jacket because that's pretty dope. I'll put that one in. But like, it's for me, it wasn't the weird clothes. It wasn't the the weird eye makeup, whatever. I don't give a shit.
What about, like, the Shrek?
It's just her personality, and I can't even describe how much this bothers me as much as it does. Because like every other female character that I felt our male character that I felt annoyed with, eventually I grew to like. PB is the only Bioware person that I hated and still hate.
Still hated.
Still hate.
Yeah.
So
I feel the same with Liam, though. I don't think Liam...
Really?
Because I think what they did was, they had feedback on the other previous Mass Effect games where there have been characters who have been too bland. Mm-hmm. So what they did with Liam was they flipped that, and they put way too much in him, so he's so energetic that he's actually annoying. They put so much in him that actually he's just bland, annoying, and irritating. Mm-hmm. Like, every scene that was in that with Liam, it felt like he was in a different game, a different genre. It didn't feel like he was a Mass Effect character to me. It felt like he was in a first-person shooter or something like that. Just his style and his design and the way he spoke, it just really didn't resonate with me as someone who loves Mass Effect and the characters. I just didn't feel it. I felt like he was a detachment to the story. So I just didn't get it.
I didn't mind Liam, but I would almost agree with you, except that I think the whole game was like that.
The whole game was just a detachment.
Yeah, it really
it just didn't resonate with Mass Effect
it really felt like something else. Which, if that's what they were going for, that's fine. But I don't know. I still think they should have just not even called it Mass Effect and been something else. Which then it really would have.
Exactly, it should have been a new IP, and it would have tanked, but it wouldn't have tanked as bad because it wouldn't have been Mass Effect.
Yeah, you know? People were just like, "Oh, look at this cute little."
This cute little space RPG that tries to be Mass Effect, but it's not. So it's okay.
Yeah, just Andromeda. So let's go back to what we actually like of the original series. But worst romances, again, I think the worst romances in the first game, all of them are bad. But you specifically...
I do like Ashley a bit, only because of what she looks like in Mass Effect 3. Again, not being superficial, but... You know, they did vamp her up in Mass Effect 3.
I liked her in Mass Effect 1 better, because, I don't know, that felt more soldier-like than in the Vamp.
Yeah, it did. I mean, they did really just sexualized her for the sake of sexualizing her, literally.
And you fell for it, Jack. You fell for it.
I did. They were like, hey, let's give her a cute little outfit that shows off a bit of cleavage. There you go. New character. But they didn't retcon her. She did stay the same. I do enjoy the fact, I do like the fact that she is the same personality. She is the same racist soldier. So they didn't completely spin her. So I'm okay with that. Mm. But yeah, Ashley, once and again, you know, you've got Liara. Liara does my nutting, literally. I apologize. I know Liara is like one of the best and most romanceable Mass Effect characters. Please don't unsubscribe. But I just can't stand Liara.
Can we go back to the phrase "do your nut in"?
Does my nut in, basically makes me mental. I'll try and think of a non-British term. She's just a pain in the backside. She just literally is leaping on top of Shepard. Literally, she's like, "Oh, Shepard! Oh, Shepard!" I'm like, "No, Liara, no. I'm not romancing you. I'm sorry. No."
I thought she was kind of boring in the first game, and then she kind of grew into herself later on. So it was like, all right, I get like Liara romancers now that she's the Shadow Broker and doing all these cool things.
She is cool in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, but first game I'm just
Mass Effect 1, first game she's just like, "Oh, Shepard, oh, Shepard." And then there was the whole, you know, when you when she came inside your mind, and they were building that connection there where she was really like, "Oh, I understand you. I sympathise with you. I get what you're going through." And then that's how she was trying to push the whole "we'll bang okay" thing. And I was like, "No, Liara, I'm sorry, but it does break my heart when I go with Ashley because Liara is like, but
yeah, Liara comes onto you strong. So
Maybe it's like a sorry alien seductress thing. I don't know.
But you said the worst romance was Caden.
Yeah, Caden. I just don't like Caden. Love the voice actor. Just don't like Caden.
Yeah, I don't like the voice actor, and like I like get why people like the romance. It just wasn't. And I just find him so boring.
I kill him all the time. Again, apologize, but I just. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, Caden romances. Probably the second most. No, probably not second.
I think the worst romance in the series, though, is Jacob.
Oh, Jacob.
Because if you do romance him in the second game, then in the third game he dumps you for his baby mama. Like, what?
Yeah, I know. It's like, what?
Why did you do that? Why even have him as a romance option?
But at least Jacob is kind of fulfilled in 2, whereas Kelly's just hardly a romance. It's literally just a dance in your private quarters, and she's just like a coming on too strong character who people who aren't too invested in the game can just romance, if you get what I mean. Like
at least she feeds your fish. Like
she does feed your fish.
Gives you
that's
something.
true. That is true. She does feed your fish, and you do go for a private meal. You do get that, but you don't see the meal. I'd like to see it and then have dialogue within that. But I mean, that's asking for too much. But Kelly just runs off, and I can't remember what happens in Mass Effect 3 of her. I know she can die. You can break her heart if you did romance her, but I can't remember what happens if you actually romance her again, or if I don't think you can. I'm not sure.
Which I think the fact that you can't remember speaks to how great it is.
It's how great exactly.
Like I know I even though I didn't play through all the games, I did watch through all the romance because I was curious, and I know I watched Kelly's, and the only thing I remember is I think you meet up with her, and she's like, I can't be with you, or like something like that.
Yeah, she's like, I can't be with you, sorry. And she's like in is it Purgatory in the Citadel bar on Mass Effect 3? Purgatory, Afterlife's in Ilium. I can't remember. I can't even remember.
And then in the third game, we both hated Diana Allers.
Oh, Diana.
Again, not
Jessica Chobot. Love Jessica Chobot, but Diana Allers. Sorry. I mean, I'm a journalism student, so I'm all for, representing journalists in a good light, but Diana Allers, just no. No. Like, how is that even I think that should have been not a full romance. It should have been a character that you can romance and that won't affect other romances. Mm-hmm. That's maybe being a bit of a whore, but like I think it should have been one of those, like in Dragon Age Origins you can romance so many people but still have your main romance. I think Diana Alice should have been one of those, so like a fling, like a fling.
I just didn't really find her interesting. Like until I was looking at the listing of romances, I was like, who's the fuck's Diana Alice? I don't know.
But why was she in the game? Like why? Like did Jessica I know Jessica Chobot is a big Mass Effect fan, but why make her a journalist in the game as well as her in real life? Like, they could have made her so many things, so many different things,
I don't know.
They could have made her a badass James Vega, but as a female. Mm-hmm. But instead, they just made a journalist reporter who on the ship and you talk to after every big mission, and then you can bang her. You could have made her something so cool, and you kind of just went, oh no, let's make her a journalist.
No.
So
I think the biggest letdown for me when playing the games is that from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3, like, the romance almost doesn't even carry over. Like, it acknowledges that you romance Garrus or Miranda, but then, like, you technically break up for how long.
Yeah, you kind of, like a 6-month period or whatever, and it's like, oh.
It would have been so cool to have experienced what it's like to be in a more long-term relationship in a game.
Yeah,
like, that hasn't been really explored yet, and they just kind of
like,
fuck it.
Like, I want to come back to what hasn't been explored yet later on, but yeah, definitely, like a whole long-distance relationship thing, or Skype calls, Like, at the end of the game, if you're on Earth, you can Skype call everyone and be like, oh, I miss you, and you can Skype call Miranda at least, and you can, and in fact you can Skype call everyone, so Samara, Jack, whoever you met through Mass Effect 3, and you give them like a nice final going away, but I would like that, during the start of the game or something like that, but again, budget, time, Mass Effect 3's whole production, because I did cut out loads of things in that game, but yeah. It's fair enough, but yeah, I would like to see that.
Let's talk about some Dragon Age.
Okay, let's get some positivity in here. Yeah, because I feel like Andromeda we have completely shunned, but now, okay.
So, for me, Alistair was my favorite Origins, but I
love Alistair.
I think Morgan was really good too.
Yeah, Origins is hard to choose. It's hard. It's really hard to choose.
Like, I put my least favorite as Zevran, but like it's I don't know, like I had a hard. I think Alistair and Morgan are definitely the top two because of just how they're integrated with the story. But, like, Zevran and Liliana aren't bad either.
Well, on the flip side of that, Liliana is my favourite. She is my one and only. Like, you may think that because I romance Lawson in Mass Effect, that I'd probably go for the cold-hearted female character again, but no. I just love Liliana, the cute, innocent, little religious, little ginger head bad. I just love it. She literally has my Grey Warden's heart. Literally. I just love Liliana. I literally can't stop thinking about Liliana. She's so great. And it's kind of sad that in Inquisition she's not that sad little, like that cute little bad anymore, but obviously that's character development. She's been through so much and she can die in Origin, so it would make sense for her to come back pretty pissed.
Yeah.
But still, I just love that just cuteness that she had in Origins. But
which, speaking of cuteness, in Dragon Age 2, Meryl. If you
Meryl.
like Liliana,
Yeah.
Why didn't you like Meryl? Because I don't like Meryl either.
I just couldn't get into Meryl. I just could not get into Meryl. I don't know. I'm not really into elves.
I mean, they do look like aliens in Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But like,
in Dragon Age Inquisition, they look a lot better. But in Dragon Age 2, Meryl, I just couldn't get on board with her. She did do that whole cute thing, but I think the fact that she was a blood mage was like the playthrough I was going for. I was like, whoa, blood magic? No, that's my Hawks impression. My impression, I just can't get into Meryl. I don't know. I think probably because I had that cuteness in Dragon Age Origins. Having it in 2, I went for the flip. Literally, I went the complete contrast to, the cute one in Dragon Age 2. But I don't know. I just couldn't get behind Meryl, honestly.
I couldn't either. What drove me crazy about Meryl is just like how flippant she was about like dangerous things. Like she's like, "Oh, I can handle it. I can handle it. I can handle it." No, you can't, Meryl.
It's when she does blood magic for the first time, I was like, whoa, she's crazy. Like, she's like summoning like a dark, I can't remember what she's summoning, but and I was like, whoa, I'll have none of that. I don't know,
So, you say you flipped to the complete opposite.
I did. I flipped to Isabella. Oof, I mean, that is completely, flipping to the non-exclusive, it's like a non-exclusive romance where it's completely open. So, you can assume that she is probably romancing 2 guys while also romancing Hawk. It's Isabella. I don't trust her to be faithful, but
it's an interesting relationship because it's the only canonically open relationship in the series.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, literally. I mean, you could probably say Iron Blood as well could be canonically open, but Isabella is definitely in Inquisition. You can play her as her in the multiplayer, which I loved because she was great, and you can still kind of get the hint that she is still floating about with other guys, but who knows? Isabella, I really like Isabella. Again, not for superficial reasons. Actually, for Isabella, it was completely superficial.
You like big
literally
boats,
her personality.
You cannot lie.
Yeah, basically, but she is fun. Like when you see her in the Hanged Man, is it Hanged Man? Yeah, she's literally the opening, like where she's harassing she's being harassed or whatever.
Yeah,
she's just fun. She is like a strong, independent female character. I just like Isabella. She's strong. She knows what she is. She's confident and she's good fun. So I just enjoy Isabella as a romance as well. And it does develop. It becomes more of I actually do care about you romance by the end of it. Obviously, with the plot of her stealing the Cunari book. Spoilers. And then her coming back can it adds a thing to a romance as well. So I do enjoy her character quite a bit.
So you said if you could romance Sarah, you would. So who did you romance in Inquisition?
Josephine. Just again back to the cuteness. She's just a fun, cute. She's like cute. She's so cute. It's just a fulfilling, fun romance. I love. It's so like cliche, like your Inquisitor's like, oh, maybe I'm a love innocent, and it's just, no, he says the most cliche line ever, and I can't remember, but it's so romantic TV show, a rom-com TV show cliche, and it's just so adorable, cute, cliche, and funny, and I just love it. And I love the scene when you go to Val Royeaux together, and it's not even within the romance subplot, but when she tells you about her bad and how she killed someone and she was going to be a bad, but she just couldn't do it, and she couldn't live that life, and how it drastically changed her career path. It's just a really human moment, and it just hits on many emotions, and also the scene just aesthetically is beautiful with the dock in Val Royeaux. It just creates a really cute, nice environment that is great for that deep conversation that you have with her. I just love Josephine. She's just great. She's also like the first female Antivan character that we've seen as well, as opposed to Zevran, I think. So I loved that different culture that she brought as well, the different personality. Also the voice actress as well, Allegra Clark, is great.
Yeah. Well, so I want you to imagine that gif of Jason Momoa like standing up and saying, no, say what you want about my boy, because you said Cassandra was your least favorite romance.
Cassandra was my least favorite. I expected her to be so... Okay, pre-Dragon Age Inquisition, I literally watched everything on Cassandra. I watched Dawn of the Seeker. I played the games over and over. I read the lore on her. I played Dragon Age 2 over and over just to get more of Cassandra. And I saw her as this hard-assed, brutal warrior. And I was excited to romance a full-on warrior and have a great, nice relationship with her. And it would be, we'd be both, we'd have sticks up our asses and we'd be great. And we'd be brutes and we'd be trolling through Orlais or Val Royeaux or whatever, or Ferelden. And we'd just be, these brutes. And instead you get like the most cliche little, I've got a heart of gold, sweet romance. And I'm like, no, this is not what I wanted. I did not want to be reading poetry to her while we, romance outside of Skyhold. I wanted to have like a full-on brutal, warrior, we're both beasts, we should be locked in cages, romance scene. But instead, you're reading poetry and looking at the night sky. And I'm like, what? No. And I just couldn't deal. Couldn't deal.
So here's my perspective on it. Most of my interests are more male dominated, like video games and stuff like that. And I've always felt like a little, like most of my most of my friends are guys, just not because I don't like women friends who just have nothing in common. So I've always felt a little bit too manly for my own good, but I still have very feminine interests. And Cassandra, and especially Aveline, my baby girl, love you.
Okay.
She kind of channels that. Like they can be the manly warrior, they can have masculine features, but they are females and they do have feminine traits.
So from a video game perspective, of that being a great representation of a character who a video gamer could relate to, like yourself, that is actually a great character.
Yeah. So why I do think having, as you would say, two people with their sticks up their asses and having a beast in a cage romance would be interesting. And maybe they should do that in the future. I liked the soft, sweet Cassandra.
Yeah. No, I get it from that. I do actually. That has changed my perception of your standpoint, obviously, because you have that. You can relate to her so much more. Whereas I just wanted a full-on, we should be locked in cages and have a full-on whips and stuff romance scene as opposed to a sweet kissy. But no, I do understand. I do get that. Yeah, I mean, I guess we do get that ripped in cages with Iron Bull. So they probably did need to change. Well, everyone walks in, but you do you get a bit of that. So they probably gave Cassandra a sweet one because they did do Iron Bull. Crazy.
I think, which I put Iron Bull as my least favorite.
You did. You did put Iron Bull as your least favorite.
But here's the thing. I think I would rate almost all of the Inquisition romances over any other romance in the series. So even though I put Iron Bull as my least, he would still be up above a lot of these others. The romance system within Inquisition is so much better. The way that it evolves by approval and then doing quests with them, as opposed to in the Mass Effect where it's, let's talk to this person. Oh, okay, let's talk again, and just being a talking simulator. And then in Origins, it was like, oh, who can I give the most gifts to? So I enjoy Inquisition. It's definitely the best romance system Bioware has done so far. Also, the conversations, like the emotions, the talking and the choices, the conversational system there, which incorporated romance, was great as well. So I think Inquisition mechanically has been the best Bioware game for romance so far. I would agree completely. So I think one thing, I know a lot of people complained about it, was you can't see the approval they have on the other games.
You can't really see, and you can in Origins, and it's like, well, why remove that in Inquisition?
I don't know, I kind of liked that because you could tell if you talked to them by what they said, you can kind of tell.
Yeah, Blackwell's like, get away from me, you sick,
I'm beginning to think Blackwell didn't like you very much.
He did not.
So my favorite romance, you liked Josephine, I liked Solus. That was because me being the giant lore nerd, it was so interesting.
It was very, but as a romance though, it's heartbreaking.
But that's great. I love that. No, I want more romances in games that aren't just we fell in love and everything's happy. I want tragedy. I want some interesting we now have to go on. We're probably not it's going to be very likely, I think, that we're going to have to defeat and fight Solus without the Inquisitor there. And then what's going to happen with that? What's the outcomes of that? I don't know. I just find that so much more interesting. And it's been years since I've played through a Solus romance, and I still think about it just because of how interesting it is.
It is very interesting. And I suppose a lot of romance stories have done those. You've got Mass Effect, you've got KOTOR, where there's a bit of romance, and you've got Dragon Age. So they've already done, the alpha males romance, and you've done the cute couples. They've already done a lot of romance stories, so I think doing Solas's romance story, where it's kind of unfulfilling, but obviously, it's unfulfilling, but it's justified. I do understand why they are doing that, and I actually enjoy that because they are varying their romances from now on. They are creating different romance narrative arcs. So I do see where they're going, and I love to see where they could go in the future with that, with different romance stories. So I do get that, and it is definitely an interesting romance. Yeah, definitely.
Something that I really like about it is
face
that
paint, it just oof.
The what'd you say?
When he removes the face paint and it's like representing Slayer, and he tells you about it, and you're like, flipping heck, like that's like hitting at gold, and then finding out that he's the Dread Wolf, and you're like, flipping heck, I actually romanced the Dread Wolf, and he's telling me all this stuff, and it's just great, and it culminates perfectly in Trespasser.
Which I will say, the camera angle, I don't know how much. You play on a.
I play on Xbox One and PC.
Yes. Oh, you do play on PC? Have you ever played with FlyClam?
I've tried. I need to get the mod. For it. Really.
It's get it because it's really interesting. If you use FlyClam in that scene, you will realize how much of a bad angle they used, other than like the Lavellen kissing
really?
Scene. Because if you zoom out, Solus and your Lavellen are actually holding hands.
Oh, really?
And it's so cute.
Oh,
and you don't get to see it at all. Not at all. So it's this
so
really
they added
cute
so much into it. But
yeah.
They added so much into, and then you can the camera angles. That is cute.
It's pretty cute. But I guess another thing I really liked about the Solus romance is that he's his own person first. Like he has his goals.
He has
I think some of the other romance, like I think Meryl's romance really takes away from her character, because instead, like if you're not romancing Meryl, she grows and stands on her own 2 feet. But I feel like romancing Meryl, she kind of leans on you a little bit too much.
A little bit too much. Yeah.
So I feel like Solus, a lot of people, especially on Tumblr, which I have a love-hate relationship with Tumblr.
Same.
Like really like drag people through the mud if they like Solus and don't like Meryl, because like, oh, they have the same view on demons. It's not about the demons. It's about that. Well, the reason I don't really like Meryl is because she just leans on you way too much. She needs to learn to stand on her own. And
exactly.
That's why she's so insecure and blah, 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 which interesting character story, I'll give it that. But like Solus is his own person. He knows, like when you say like demons aren't going to get me, you're like, I believe you because you're very confident in what you say. Meryl, I don't even think believes herself sometimes.
No, definitely,
So and overall, people just find confidence sexy. That's what it is.
Confidence. Exactly.
I think that's why more people like Solus than Meryl, not because she's a female or whatever, but because
he's confident. He knows who he is. He's secure.
Mm-hmm. If Meryl was very confident in her abilities, more people would probably like her than what they
do. Definitely. Yeah, but because obviously she is this cute stereotype, and she's, a new city elf, she's got this really low self-esteem sort of character type, and I get that. She relies on Hawk way too much. Yeah.
That being said, I don't think it's a bad story. It's just that's the reason why I don't
it's a great story. I love the fact that she is this she's fresh out of the tribe, and then she's into the city. It's a great story. And then visiting her, it's just obviously her character dynamic in that is a bit too lenient on Hawk.
Yeah. So who do you wish was romanceable in both series?
Ooh, okay, so definitely Morrigan female.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I agree that like characters need to have their own sexualities, and I think that some like people really wanted Cassandra to be bisexual, which like for some reason with Cassandra's character I don't see her being a lesbian. Maybe it's because she's really into the chantry and like the association with like religion. She's like
religion, and she's the left or the right hand of the divine, so she is this religious figure kind of,
which like Liliana, but
much like Liliana, so she's kind of ordained sort of, so she's looked upon as this representing Andraste, and so I think her being a lesbian would go against her beliefs.
Yeah, which I mean,
partially. I don't know what the Chant of Light says about homosexuality.
In Thetis, at least, homosexuality is mostly just like whatever. I think there's if there is a country that's against homosexuality, I can't remember it.
Tevinter. I shouldn't be Tevinter.
Tevinter, you're right. Well, the only thing about Tevinter, it wasn't really against homosexuality. It was because he wasn't getting an heir.
Yeah, tradition, and they can't continue their legacy because they're obviously all about heritage and continuing on their legacy and their bloodline because they're so proud.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see a game in that. I really, really can't wait to go to Tevinter.
Host for Dragon Age 4.
Yeah. That's just, I can't wait.
But anyway,
honestly,
Morgan's the only like character who is a female and straight who I don't understand was it.
Because she's a witch. I mean, come on, she lives in the wilds.
Her personality really works
She'd want to
with it,
try
too.
something new. I mean, come on. She's like a shapeshifter. She could be whatever she wants to be. I don't see why she wouldn't want to see what it's like to romance a female.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted Sten just to see what it would be like. Because in my imagination, it would be kind of like a lot like the Soulless romance a little bit, where he leaves at the end and you never see him again. Granted, you know where he's going. He's like, I'm a part of the Cune. Like, we don't do this romance stuff. It was nice, and like I do care about you,
nice,
but with my culture, I can't.
Go.
Goodbye. I think that would have been such an interesting romance.
That would have been very cool. Also, like, learning more about the Cunari in Dragon Age Origins would have been cool.
Yeah.
Because we did get a lot of them. We got Sten, but Dragon Age 2 is really where we full on learn about the Cunari. At least for me, I learned more about them in Dragon Age 2 with the invasion and stuff. So I would have liked that dynamic of learning, like kind of like a Jal and a Ryder romance, where you're learning about this culture as you're romancing them, and you're learning on them on an intimate level. And I would have liked that with Sten, even though it wouldn't have been that intimate because it's Sten. I would still have liked to have learned more about them, or you would have probably seen more development within him. But
because like he does, like, if you befriend, I don't know if it happens with the male warden now that I'm thinking about it, but maybe it does, I don't know. But at the very end, he does call you Kadan if you've earned his respect.
He does call you Kadan if you are male.
He
yes.
does? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've always wondered, like, oh, maybe he had a crush on the warden, or maybe the word has changed since then, you know? Like,
yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. I also think, I kind of wish if you were played in a city elf, the Tabra spouse, I kind of wish they lived. Maybe because, like, I'm married, and so I'm like, marriage is so fun. I should get married. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of broke my heart when I was playing.
Was that the woman or the spouse you marry into? So the woman or the husband?
Yeah.
I was completely mean to my wife. I didn't. She was like, "I'm glad I'm not marrying you," and I was like, "Oh well then." So yeah, I was really mean to her.
I've only ever played a female city elf, so I don't know what the wife's like. But the dude is like really nice. He like tries to defend you. He dies, but he tries to defend you.
The woman was she just wasn't nice. She just wasn't nice. No, I did not like her at all. I was like, no, I'm glad I'm not marrying you, and she was the same. So we literally just split.
Well, maybe that's why they didn't allow them to live.
Carry on. Yeah, carry on. I would have liked to see Honora be romanced by a female noble as well.
I can
Queen
see
and
that.
Queen, I get, but like, I think it'd have been cool.
It would have been cool, but I almost feel like the reason it wouldn't work is the only reason she's marrying the warden is for an heir.
It's because for an heir, which makes sense.
Yeah, if it was a female warden, it definitely would have been a power play. Now, if they were like in actual romance where you had feelings for Honora and that, like, that's one thing.
That is, yeah. But obviously, it's just I need an heir, so Alistair or Kuzland will do.
Moving on to Dragon Age 2, I think Aveline.
I really wanted to romance
as much
Aveline.
as I love her and Donic, because I think her and Donic is so adorable. Like, I would have loved to have, like...
I would have loved to...
Aveline's my girl. I love her so much.
She's so great. She's one of the best characters in Dragon Age 2. Literally. She's... I loved Aveline from the very start. And she's got a really sad story, you know, of is it her first husband, or is it...
First husband, yeah.
Dying at the start of the game. Yeah, and obviously she moves on to her second husband. But I would have loved to have taken the mantle, either... heterosexually or homosexually, because it's Aveline. I don't care. You know.
That being said, though, for what they did, I think they did all right, because even if I didn't get to romance Aveline,
you can't get a kiss. You can't get a kiss by it, can't you?
Yeah, I have done that route where you like keep saying like, oh, I love you, and she's like, I'm sorry, I don't feel that way. Like, I think that was still a great storyline, and like you do get to set her up with a nice guy, because Donic seems like a genuine
he's just
dude.
getting nice.
Now you said Varric.
Come on, boy, Varric is just
See,
why not? You know.
I like the buddy aspect too much. Now, I think we should be able to romance Varric in Inquisition, and I will fight for that one.
Yeah.
I think in Dragon Age 2, the you being best buds, I think just works out so much better.
It is pretty cute, but you can get there could be that the best bud couple, that stereotype of they're actually boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're best buds, you know, so they play it really cool, and they're both
I
best
would argue
buds
that all romances you should be best buds with, but that's another thing.
That's true, actually. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But it could be that best bud stereotype of a romance couple where it's like, yeah, high five, let's kiss, and you know. But
I guess I don't know, I just like in Inquisition, Varric was so out of his element and uncomfortable. I think that would have been interesting. To have a romance
Inquisition,
there.
did he have a different writer in Inquisition? Because he felt like a bit too different. He felt a bit too different for me. he's like very insecure about, you know, Corypheus and Hawk and why didn't we kill him? And that's fair. That's definitely fair enough. But he kind of overplays it a bit too much, and then it takes a while for him to get back to his wicked grey self. You know, and his throwing one-liners at us. But
because
it was
I
that
think
first half.
I think that's because he doesn't know the Inquisitor, versus he knows Hawk.
Yeah. But like when he meets Hawk straight away, he's like really witty, quirky, confident in who he is.
Well, I think it's a
really
power
fun.
differential, because Varric has like, he is more rich and he has more connections than Hawk does, and then they befriend each other, and then Hawk surpasses him, but they're still friends at this point. The Inquisitor is thrust into this strangeness.
This religious, I am this Jesus figure, and you know, and then Varric is like, oh,
it's intimidating.
Yeah, I get that. You definitely they like kind of humanize the Inquisitor a bit, and yeah, I do get that. But for Dragon Age 2, Talis, properly a proper romance. She should after Mark of the Assassin, she should have stayed as a companion. Scrap Sebastian and have Talis.
As much, I think later on I have voted Sebastian's the worst romance in the series just because of how it was handled, but because that was not a romance. But I hate Talis. If she was an actual companion that stayed, I don't know. I don't know if I'd played it. It was. Did
you watch Felicia Day's short Dragon Age series where she plays Talis?
I didn't like it either.
I loved that.
I didn't like it either.
I love Felicia Day, and I
like Felicia Day. This isn't about Felicia Day. This is about Talis.
I love that outfit though. The whole like she's got this, you know, really cool daggers and shirt, and
I don't mind the design so much. It's just her like she felt like Felicia Day's D&D character. You know, like she didn't feel like an actual character in the game.
She's like the first, or no, there's Evelyn, but like she's like a ginger-haired romance, and Leliana.
Yeah, but say like, what about your girl?
I know. I'm thinking that. Yeah, I know. What am I doing? But like in Inquisition, and again, Liliana, but you can't romance anyone with ginger hair. But still.
So I think. So you said for people you would like to romance in Dragon Age Inquisition, you put Vivienne.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about that because like I think that because she's married for like, well, not married, but she's the mistress she's the mistress of the Duke.
Pre-releasing to the game.
Now it's not just the Duke. He is the leader of the Council of Heralds. Like the Council of Heralds have technically more power than like the Queen of Orlais. This is a really powerful ass dude.
It's really powerful.
Yeah, he could fuck you up.
I know she cares about him because obviously you see that when he's on his deathbed. But like when the game was, I was watching the trailers and I used to watch loads of YouTubers when the game was coming out. That's kind of how I got into doing this. And my dream team was romancing Sarah, romancing Cassandra, and romancing Vivienne on separate playthroughs. And they were my dream team who I was going to my first playthrough. They were my main party members. And I always was like, oh, okay, I can't wait to romance Cassandra as a guy. Can't wait to romance Sarah as a guy. Can't wait to romance Vivienne as a guy. And I was going to have different playthroughs. And I always envisioned Vivienne as a romanceable character. I don't know. I think it would have just been a cool, mature romance. But I mean, yeah, she's married. But I really wanted it because I loved her style. I loved how I know what people think that she's the worst character in Inquisition. I really get on with Vivienne. I like being that. I like being a bit of a snob Inquisitor just for a bit, you know, not too much, but I like just playing it up a bit, you know. The Inquisition has to be this, you know, excellence organization, and you know we have to wear the best gear and stuff. But I would like just to have a mature relationship with Vivienne, but I don't know. I just would have liked. I just could have seen it would have been cool for like mature players of the game as well. So I know like a lot of older people who want to play Dragon Age, and they have to romance like, you know, like Sarah, who's like how old, 20? Where Vivienne is, obviously she's mature. It would just been a different dynamic, a different relationship as a whole. Because I don't think we can actually romance that many mature people other than Blackwall in Dragon Age. So I would have just liked to see a different romance, basically.
See, when you say it that way, I agree with you. Because like, even though I think Vivienne had her own story, and like I think that's good, it would have been nice to have that mature romance for a few. Like Cassandra is almost 40. She doesn't look it.
Yeah, she's almost 40. That's true, yeah, she doesn't look it. The Inquisitor's what, in his late 30s?
It could be whatever you want.
It could be whatever, true.
So I personally played an Inquisitor in like her early 40s because I thought that was interesting. Because Solas is technically supposed to look like he's in his 40s. So,
what is like how old?
Yeah, like great how old he is. And then, so I was actually going to my husband has a big beard and at the time long hair. So when I went in, it was like Blackwall because he looks like Blackwall. But then Solas was like being an all charming.
The complete opposite. No facial hair, no actual hair.
But either way, I was in for heartbreak, so perhaps at least not the one that looks like Michael. Now you say Hawk. I think that's an interesting idea for a romance.
Like, what I think would have been cool is if you didn't romance anyone in Dragon Age 2 and you transferred your save or you put it in the Dragon Age Keep, I think that the Inquisitor and Hawk should have been able to romance each other. I always envisioned, like, my female Hawk being able to romance my male Inquisitor, and I think it would have been such a cute, really cool relationship, and I would have loved, even if it was just a fling kind of thing, just to romance my Hawk, because it just would have been cool, being able to romance my own playable character. Mm-hmm. It would have been a dream. And I would like to see that in the future, potentially. But
why I'm totally on board of this. I do not know how they would do it, and people are already pissed at Hawk because of the blood magic comment, and I feel like that was super avoidable. So how would you make a romance with it, even if it's just? It
would have been complicated, and my Hawk wouldn't say that. My Hawk wouldn't say that, even if I did the Paragon, the funny one, or the Renegade one, whatever they were. There would be the whole conflict of a lot of fans divided, but at the same time, it wouldn't need to be anything too special. Just more of a. Like a Diana, I don't want to say it like Diana Alice thing, but similar to, you only talk to them a bit, and then out of doing the missions together, you then have a romance. But yeah, again, complicated, mechanically wise, and probably impossible, and a large divide among the fans. But still, it's something that personally I would have loved to have seen. Especially if Hawk didn't romance anyone in Dragon Age 2 as well. Hawk's lonely. Hawk is wanting someone in their life to romance. So why not? My Inquisitor's young, eager,
willing.
Willing. Romance Josephine like 10 times. It's romance someone else.
So who would you like to see romance in a future Dragon Age game?
One of the Carver twins. So Bethany or Carver.
For like a split second, I was like, oh god, no. But then I realized that we wouldn't be playing Hawk as like...
Yeah, we would not be playing Hawk again. Yes.
So I'm totally like, oh wait, never mind.
Not be playing...
so creepy anymore. But I don't know. I have a hard time... Although I think it would be interesting, I just have a hard time getting behind it because they're our sibling, even though it's not, Does that make sense?
Yeah, they were our sibling, and now they're not. And you're like, I still have that attachment there. But like in the next game, it's foreshadowing that we're going to go to Weishaupt. The Grey Ones are either there, or Hawk is going there with either Alistair, Logain, or Stroud. So they're going to Weishaupt. Bethany or Carver is already at Weishaupt. Mm-hmm. There's rumoured to be Griffins at Weishaupt. So it's like, what's at Weishaupt? If we're going to Weishaupt, who can I romance at Weishaupt? Mm-hmm. And it's like Bethany, Carver, or Hawk. Bethany or Carver and Hawk are going to be at Weishaupt, along with the Grey Warden that we spared. So it depends who we spared, Hawk or Grey Warden. But they're all going to be at Weishaupt. And the next game, who could we romance in Weishaupt? It would be, Bethany, Carver, or Hawk. And personally, I would love to romance Bethany. But again, it would be that attachment to, you were once my sibling and now you're not. And now I can get jiggy with you. It's a bit awkward. But yeah. What about you? Who would you like to see in a future DA game?
So you said Creme. And I was like, oh, Creme, that's a great idea. Creme. And on that same, because Creme is Cram. What the hell? Okay.
Creme
is transgendered. Another transgender character I'd like to see is Mayveris Talani, who he's already hinted that we're going to be seeing them because they were on the Trespasser slideshow. But I think I would love to see how they handle that kind of thing.
Definitely.
So, I would hope that it's just like a normal romance, nothing, whatever. But I don't know. I think that would be a really cool romance. Now, that being said, in the comics, she
is a new romance. I think a trans relationship is a new romance that we're probably going to see.
Yeah, has
Bioware.
There been any other games that have... I'm not a huge gamer outside of Bioware, so I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I literally play Bioware games. I play RPGs, and that's like it. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Either way, I don't think
when you think of romance, you think of Bioware anyway. So I don't really think of other games as fair. Romance games, to be honest.
But granted, in the comics, Mayveris, she was married to Funfex, Varric's cousin, and he died. Wow. She definitely still has feelings for him, but I don't know if she's going to because of that connection there. But it would be interesting to see if I can not replace him, I'm someone different. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool.
It would be cool. And speaking of going to Tevinter, what about romancing Dorian again? Because he did split up with the Inquisitor.
Well, they didn't split up.
But it was more of a
long
he
distance.
gave them like a Skype call thing, didn't he? He was like, oh, here's an
Yeah.
amulet, we can Skype call or whatever. But like, it would be maybe. I think they might do the whole Liliana thing where because you romance her in Origins in Inquisition, she is just an advisor. You can't romance her, but you can become her best friend. Kind
Now
of.
it would be interesting if you didn't romance Dorian, then you can romance him again. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know
But
what
then again,
they
that's-
would do though for the romance because it would be another story. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
true.
someone
true,
I
true.
want to see from the comics. I don't know if you have read
I haven't read the new Knight.
Knight Errant. Thank you. Yeah.
I haven't read Knight Errant.
The
I've
Knight
read
Errant
the previous
one,
ones.
And people are gonna call me crazy, but I want to romance Sir Aaron, guys. Sir Aaron is a drunken old man. He looked like he has
great.
gray hair, and he just goes. He's technically an ambassador for Ferelden, and he goes around telling his wild stories and entertaining people. And he also has
cool.
been kind of this parental figure to the elven thief Vea. And
Oh, wow.
I should also preface this with one of my husband's favorite character types. There's a name here I'm forgetting, but he loves sad old guys who have redemption arcs, and he has rubbed that off
yes.
on me. So I would love to have a romance with Sir Aaron where it's like you help him kick the drinking habit, and it's like a redemption arc, and he finds love. I would love that.
That sounds really cool.
Bioware, please.
That would be a mature romance as well.
Yeah.
So that would be a new romance from Bioware. That would be really cool to see.
I would fucking love that. So Bioware, everyone go tweet at Bioware, Sir Aaron, please.
Sir Aaron, mature romance, please.
I'm the only one who would probably want to romance the hobo man, but here I am.
I will retweet.
Woo! Another one I like to romance, which he kind of technically already has a girl in the book. What's the book? Asunder. Reese, who's with
Reese, yes. With
Wynn's son.
Fiona? Is it? No. Oh, right. Okay.
Well, Wynn's son, Reese. Again, another bearded guy who's like in his 40s.
Reese is
I have
Wynn's
a type,
son?
guys. Yeah.
Reese is Wynn's son? Really? Mm-hmm. Small world. I did not know that.
Which, fun fact,
wow.
that we don't actually know who the father is, but it's heavily suggested that it's Gregor.
Oh, wow.
Fun facts.
That is fun fact indeed.
So I would love to romance him, just because, again, he's more mature, bearded guy. Guys, I have a type. I also think Felisan from Masked Empire would be really fun, but
Yes.
might
Felisan.
be dead, question mark. I'm really hoping
might
he's
be
just
dead.
tranquil, and then we can, like,
Was he
cure
the
the
elf with
tranquility.
Briala? Was he the
Yeah.
elf of... Yes. Oh, I would love to see him in the next game.
He was so fun. I would imagine
was
him
so
like a
fun.
Solus romance, but it actually turning out all right.
Actually turning out decent. Good.
That's what I want. And then I would also like to see Fainreal, because he was a teenager in Dragon Age 2. He would be he would be an adult now. So I think that would be an interesting... Cause I think is going to play a bigger part because he is a dreamer, and those are super rare. And the only other dreamer we know about is Solus. So if we could find another one, we might be able to use Fainreal for something. So
That would be cool.
yes.
Off the top of that, I've actually just thought of a few as well. So
Do say.
definitely a female Cunari, because I think a female Cunari we need to romance. Just
Also a dwarf.
cool female Cunari.
Just a
Also
dwarf.
a female dwarf. A female dwarf definitely as well.
Or just
What about,
just a dwarf. Just one
just a
of them.
dwarf, yeah. Just a dwarf. Just a dwarf. Just, yes, a dwarf. Any dwarf. Any dwarf. Oh, that dwarf from the Descent DLC.
Volta or Ren.
Yes.
Ren's dead, but
Volta
Sounds
is not, though.
fuck
She
you
is
with
alive.
Volta though. She's
Something is happening with her.
yeah. I don't know if you'd want a romance her. I don't think that's going to turn out. That might if Volta turns out to be one a companion and two romanceable. That one I guarantee is going to turn out like Solus. There's no way that's turning out happy.
Or it could be like Morinth. Have you romanced Morinth in Mass Effect 2? When you romance her, she literally kills Shepard. Literally, because she's so powerful.
There you go. That's what would happen with Volta.
That's what's going to happen with... What about Connor from Redcliffe Castle?
That's you can actually see him in Redcliffe.
You can see him in... Yeah, you can see him in... How old is he in Inquisition? He's like
he'll be
19,
about 19, 20.
19, 20.
Yeah, it depends.
So if a couple of years ahead, he definitely needs a redemption arc, because what he did for his dad, fair enough, it was with good intentions, but I mean, come on, he screwed him. And again, he can be dead.
Yeah.
Connor can die. Yeah, because you can slit his throat. Never mind. Never mind. And then there's the case of Kieran, who obviously is Morrigan's son,
Oh,
but
that
he
one.
can also not exist. But
That would be interesting just to see his perspective on what it was like being, I'm going to say, possessed with an old god. But, like, that's, like,
Yeah.
way... We're not going to see that in Dragon Age. That's, like, way down the line.
that is way down the line.
But-
yeah, like there is speculation that that's going to happen in Dragon Age 4, but I think Connor's
10 years would have to pass for that to come
10
true.
yeah 10
Like,
and
that's
we're
way
not
too
definitely like
long.
Dragon Age 4 is probably going to be like maybe like a couple of years, a couple of months, not two, because for Solas is, you know, he's planning. See, you've seen what he did in 2 years with, you know, with Trespassers, so he's pretty quick, pretty fast. Like is he trying to find his next orb now or something?
We don't know.
Because we know that there's rumored to be 2 orbs. Anyway, we're getting beside the point, but there's rumored
Yes.
to be 2 orbs left, and he's looking for that. But whatever. Basically, it's going to be set at least a couple of years ahead or something. So yeah, Kieran is out of the picture. Also, he can't. He can not exist. So
So we're getting short on time here, so I think we should jump to, unless you really want to talk about who should hook up in the series, I think we should, who do you think is the best romances?
Leliana, definitely my cute little ginger-haired bard. Same reason as Miranda Lawson, but like the fact that she feels so real, that Bioware have this thing where they can write characters so damn well. Like it's like, oh my goodness, this character is so relatable yet drop dead gorgeous, that yet they feel so human, they feel so real. I actually have compassionate feelings over this character. I care about their place within the world. I care for their well-being. I want to get to know them more in the world. They're so defined and so real within the game. It just captivates me. So I feel, you know, Leliana, she's just fantastically written. The romance is cute, it's fun. She sings a song for you, and everyone, even Sten, is sad and heart-warmed by it. So it's got to be Liliana. The only thing that I don't like is the fact that she doesn't have a surname. Like, fair enough, Morrigan. Morrigan is unknown because obviously she's a witch of the wilds. You know, that's fair enough. But Liliana is a bard. You know, she's got a well-known status in Orlais. She's not a preacher, but she's a nun. I guess a classified nun or whatever. You know, you think that someone would have at least archived her full name, but no, we don't. Fair enough, she could be Liliana Kuzland or whatever surname you want to give her, as, you know, if you did hook up with her in Origins. But yeah, she doesn't have a surname, and it breaks my heart. But yeah, Liliana has to be Liliana in Dragon Age Origins.
Now, I'm going to make you choose here. Liliana or Miranda?
Oh, come on, no.
Yeah.
When I was doing my graphic, I needed my artwork, and I had to choose between Liliana or Miranda, and I chose Miranda in my art. But the way I'm Liliana from Dragon Age Origins, Liliana.
Why that over Miranda?
Liliana's got more character. She can sing. Miranda, aesthetically, a beast. Romantically, a beast. But Liliana has got so much heart. She's sweet, she's cute, she's kind of innocent. Whereas Miranda, I don't get this innocent vibe from her. You get the fact that she's professional, she knows what she's doing. Whereas Liliana's still kind of learning, you know, she's just cute, she can sing, she's a singer. I have a thing for singer-songwriters. Ginger hair, ginger hair and green eye combo is beautiful. So yeah, she's just great character. Aesthetically, she's great, but she's sweet, innocent, and fun.
So, worst romance in series?
Blackwell. Didn't like it.
Why
Did not like this
Blackwell?
romance. It didn't feel believable. It was trying an attempt at a mature romance, but for me, it didn't fall really well. The Inquisitor, romancing the Blackwell as a really young Inquisitor did not feel right. It felt a bit weird when I did it. The romance scene as well is a bit awkward in a band. I mean, come on, you could go a bit more classy.
Especially he just leaves you. Like,
Yeah, and it just leaves you as well. So Blackwell, for me, is probably my least favourite character in Inquisition. They tried to make him really great, and I loved how they did the twist. But alongside the twist, he's a bit like of a soppy, oh, feel sorry for me, I know what I'm talking about / I actually don't know what I'm talking about character. And I wanted more from him. I went in with the anticipation that he is going to be this legendary Grey Warding character, and obviously he's not, and I love the fact that he's trying to be, but I didn't get the fact that he was pretending to be a legendary Grey Warding character. So yeah, Blackwell just didn't resonate with me at all.
now, did you try romancing him with like an older Inquisitor?
I did kind of late 30s. Early 40s. So I tried to, but I just ended up watching it online. And I was like, in a barn? Seriously? In a barn? You know?
When you have the the need. It just happens.
When you've got a castle and you've got a lovely regal room with a massive cunari bed or an Orlesian bed that's like double and triple the size, and then you go in a barn, it's like, seriously? Maybe they actually went on like the nugs, like Witcher Freestyle, where you can go on a unicorn. Maybe they went on the horses. So, who knows?
Maybe. I don't know. I voted Sebastian as the worst romance in the series. The one thing that really bothered me, have you ever romanced Sebastian or watched this romance?
No, but people say I sound like Sebastian, even though I'm not Scottish.
I wouldn't. No, you don't sound like Sebastian. No.
Good. Okay, cool.
No. Whoever said that doesn't know what they're talking about. Sorry. But the Sebastian, there's kind of like two
I love
arcs.
his aesthetic. I love his style. I think
he would have been really great if they just did it correctly. But he's really just shoehorned in the story, and it sucks. But
definitely.
There's a rival, and there's the friendship romance. At least the friendship romance, actually it happens with both, I think. If you romance him, it's this culmination, and like you don't kiss or anything, and he just kind of sits there and he's like, listen, you've done so much for me and I love you so much, but I have committed myself to Andraste, so let's get married, but it'll be a chaste marriage.
Wait, what? What?
Bitch, what's the point?
That's crazy.
Like, you're about to be the king, you're gonna need an heir. Like,
that's crazy.
At the very least. Like, why do I have to be Andraste's side bitch? Nuh-uh, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Now, if they wanted to do it like that was just his sexual preference, they didn't want to do that, perfectly fine. But the fact that he was like, no, I'm choosing my religion over you, and like literally even the fate of my country. Girl, what?
Oh.
I don't know. That really bothered me. So I vote that, plus the fact that it was extremely just shoehorned in the game.
Shoehorned in. I like his reaction to the chantry blowing up, where it's like, no, make her. I know he goes to his knees.
No.
Yeah.
God,
I love
so
that.
bad.
I love that.
Apparently there's a mod to have him not say that. I need to download that, because every time I just... Earlier you mentioned that Liliana sings in camp, and even Stanley said, I'm sorry, but I found that scene so cringy.
No, yeah, I made a video about, it's called Dragon Age 4. Should have good singing, or Dragon Age 4 should limit the singing, or shouldn't have any. So it should be good. And I looked at The Witcher 3, where there's an amazing singing scene. Or if they're going to incorporate singing, at least do it perfectly. I don't like the animations, and I don't like the scene in particular. I love the song. The song is incredible.
Yeah, the song's fine. It just doesn't feel like Liliana singing it.
And exactly, because it's a different singer as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I didn't like the actual scene, but the song and the emotions it kind of cultivates there are beautiful. But yeah, the scene itself, it's horrible.
Which I'm surprised that you like singers, but you never said anything about Meriden.
Meriden, I mean, she's with Cole, isn't she?
She could be with Cole. You have Cole.
She could be with Cole. That's true, actually. Yeah, that is true. I kind of just always walk past her when I talk to Sarah, Ryan, Paul. Like you hear her songs, you're like, oh yeah, these are good songs. But yeah, I mean that would have been cool actually to romance Meriden. I do love bards. I do RP as bards in role playing games. So that is true. Yeah, I did not bring up Meriden. But what about your favorite romance in Dragon Age?
Solus. It's just the lore implications for it, and like I think I'll always be a sucker for. If you notice, all three of my top romances for Dragon Age was Alistair, Fenris, and Solus, and all three of them leave you at some point. I think I have a type. I don't know. Something about that. And like I did it the first time too. It wasn't like I like played it the first time, romance someone and train. Each time it was like, not again.
So you did Solus's romance unaware of him actually leaving you?
Yep. Well, sort of.
Cool.
I went into it. The whole reason I got into Dragon Age was I had gotten a new computer and I wanted to play a new game, and I liked Mass Effect, and Inquisition had just come out, and so I was watching specifically the Blackwell one because it looks like my husband. I was like, haha. And then I see this weird fucking ass looking dude. I'm like, I gotta watch this romance because he's so ugly. It was Solus, and
he's so ugly.
So I'm watching the romance, and I get to the part where he leaves you, and I'm like, oh well, video games the characters don't leave you, but I couldn't find the scene where he came back because I just assumed there was one, and I was like, well, now I have to play the game because I guess the persons who are uploading these haven't just uploaded it. Actually, So I play Origin. I start from the beginning. I played Origins because at the time I also thought they were all related. They're not really. So I play it all. I get to the Solus, and then he doesn't come back, guys.
He doesn't come back.
He doesn't come back. So I was a
That
little
is
bit
such
spoiled.
cute.
At the same time, I was like convinced there would be a way to, and
Convinced
like I'm
that
sitting
he
there at the
would come
credits. I'm
back.
like,
What?
Is he coming back?
Is he coming back? Who did he just kill? Who was
Did I
that?
miss a scene? Did I not get enough approval? What's going on? No, he just fucking leaves you.
He's gone.
He's gone.
I actually met the voice actor of Solas.
Oh, dude,
Gareth
really?
David Lloyd. Yeah, I met him at a Comic-Con locally in my area like 2 years ago when he was voice acting like just before he voice acted Trespasser.
Mm-hmm.
So it was such like an honor to meet him. Like he's such a cool dude. Like he's in a British TV show called Torchwood.
Yeah.
And like yeah. And I was like, oh, he's such a nice sound person. Like honestly, so cool.
This really goes to any voice actor, but I've always wondered if voice actors get like annoyed and also a little bit creeped out with all of the fangirls.
With all the little, yeah. Well, when I was there wasn't any Solas fangirls. At least I didn't see any.
Mm-hmm.
But like he was very humbling and very like open to like, you know, he like full on like hugged me like when I got a photo of him. So he seemed to be a very humbled man. So
Well,
and his
that's really
voice,
cool.
his voice as well is phenomenal. So.
The only cool voice actor story I have is that I'm friends with Allegra Clark on Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
I need to get back into it.
It's not even that cool.
That's still cool.
Yeah, but that's my only story about voice actors. I don't got anything. But
Yeah.
anyway, Jack, it has. Do I call you Jack? We've been doing this for an
You
hour.
can
I
call
don't
me
know.
Jack. Yeah, you can call
Jack,
me
Jackdaw, it's one of them.
Jack is my name.
Jack.
Is my full-on name. Jack.
We have been talking for a hour 30 minutes now, and
No,
I think this will be.
we have not. It only feels like it's been like 20 minutes? Oh, it's 6:30. Oh wow, you are right. You are right.
And it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine.
Why don't we tell people where they can find you?
So you can find me on YouTube, obviously on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter tweeting about, romance memes. I'm actually putting out Alistair memes regularly because Alistair is my boy. So be sure to come and look at a few Alistair memes on my Twitter. I have my own blog, so you can check that out as well. But yeah, mainly obviously YouTube, Jackdaw Journalism. The journalism part is just there for no reason. It's just Jackdaw. Literally just Jackdaw.
And aren't you doing something with like your school now too? I don't know if you want to pimp that out.
Yeah, currently I'm just creating a campaign in my university about game design in my area. So games like Gang Beasts, if anyone's ever played Gang Beasts, and Goat Simulator literally come across the street from where I live. So right now I'm creating a campaign. I'll send a link, I'll put it in the description or whatever. If you want to like my page or support it by liking it on Facebook or watching any of my videos on my secondary channel, much appreciated. My campaign is all about getting analytics, so that would be very greatly appreciated. I would love that. It's also my blog as well, so you could just check out my blog. But yeah.
Well, all right, and if you you're probably watching this on my channel, or you might be watching on Jackdaw's. I'm Katie Gilder-Thallen. You can find me on YouTube and Twitter under those
Follow
names.
her.
I talk about Dragon Age lore. That's basically all I do. If you're here for Mass Effect, I'm sorry. Don't look at me. I don't talk about those things very often.
Dragon Age. People come to my channel for Dragon Age now. Literally, Mass Effect is gone. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because
It'll come back
now we're waiting for Dragon Age.
Now we're waiting for Dragon Age. Literally, my content, people just come for Dragon Age. Mass Effect is just...
Yeah. Well, after I don't want to get too caught up in Andromeda. RIP, rest in peace. Never
Rip,
forget.
rest in peace. Yeah.
So much promise wasted. All right, with that, Daresh Shiral.
Peace.